say restarted because it's a name that I use for the 2 solo singles that I released. It started when Max and I started DJing together regularly downstairs at Cafe Stritch, and we realized that, you know, in addition to being good friends, we really have a lot in common musically, the music that we like and that we're influenced by. And one night after we were DJing, I heard Max spontaneously play drums, and his drumming reminded me of my dearly missed friend Scotty Ashton from the Stooges. to start a band, the first person I asked was Max, and I wanted Max to play drums. What did you say?
I don't remember.
You said you wanted to play, but you wanted to play guitar, but if it meant playing drums, you'd do it. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
So we started playing together, and Max was on drums, and we kind of tried a bunch of different people, and just worked out getting the right lineup of people, and then we got, the first time you played guitar was Yanni on drums? Because you were playing bass. You were playing bass for a while too.
I mean, at first we were kind of switching off. I you know, coming into it as I like to normally do is, you know, whatever needs to be played on a given track. I'm always down to. I can play bass and guitar and drums. You know, I think you're overblowing my drum skills. I only started playing drums a couple years ago, but you know, I'm always down to play whatever is necessary. But I always, you know, dreamt of having a band where we both played guitar and sang, you know, together on the front line. So. Yeah,
and then when we got Yanni on drums and Max was on guitar and Todd Flanagan was on bass, everything just made sense. Right. It was the right chemistry. And
how would you describe your music?
It's always a difficult question, but we're certainly coming at things from a very psychedelic perspective.
Yeah, a lot of like in a way, like we're. I mean, I think any band that you start, really, it's just our music. We just play what we like to play. We could talk about influences and bands that we like and maybe that we want to sound like. In the end, we might not actually sound anything like that. You know, like we always talk about the Stooges as a key, like foundational influence, and Spacemen 3 is also like a really key one. Yeah, like Neil Young and Crazy Horse is definitely huge for us.
We're also big Deadheads too, which when...
Are you a big Deadhead? I'm a big Deadhead.
Yeah, we bonded on that pretty early on. And, you know, a lot of people...
Pigpen era.
Yeah, Pigpen era.
Only Pigpen era.
Well, I like up to Mars Hotel.
Okay.
But a lot of people, I mean, it's really cool to not like the Grateful Dead, and it's really cool to not like the Doors.
Whatever, Lee Ronaldo's a Deadhead.
Exactly. we just love the music that we love, and it's not about, you know, kind of pandering to any kind of trends. And you know, of course, it's real common and trendy to say psychedelic music now, but
even psychedelic music, there's like, you know, there's all sorts of psychedelic music. You know, it's
exactly.
like we talk about Can a lot, and Can's a huge influence on both of us individually, but our music doesn't really sound anything like Can.
But it has some of the spirit of Can.
Yeah, totally. But I'd say that's where influence usually imbues itself into an artist's music more, is in the spirit of it, not necessarily in the sound or the instrumentation.
Right.
You know.
And you're record collectors, I know that. And
definitely.
So
I mean, he's a real record collector. I mean, hopefully by the time I'm old like this guy,
yeah, thank you.
I'll have, I don't know. I think I've got, what, like 0.5% of how many records.
It's
and I, like, for my age, I feel like I have a lot of records.
You do.
You know, but, like, you know, I can't compete with this guy. I don't know anyone who has as many records as this guy. Well, makes his living selling them now, so.
Yeah, I love records. I've been collecting records since I was a little kid, so. Yeah. To answer your question, we're both record collectors.
But then we're exposed to a lot of music and record collecting that kind of inspires you?
Absolutely, yeah, because, you know, my big focuses as a record collector are soul music, rock from the 60s mostly, but not limited there, and jazz from the 50s and 60s. You know, that's what I have a lot of folk records from the 60s. And
like jazz is another like huge compatibility between us that doesn't really have anything to do with the music we play, you know. Like,
but I think that,
I mean, again, in spirit maybe, but you know, I run a jazz club. It's like we're both sort of in the music industry, not just playing, but and DJing, but you know, like, you know, you guitar teched and, you know, worked at music stores, and I worked at a record store, and I, you know, run sound. And because the club and stuff, you know, music is my life personally, like in many different ways. Like I want to play music, you know, that's all of our dreams is just to play music for people. But you know, I run sound, stage manage, you know, worked at a record store. You know, it's like for me, it's like there's playing music is the dream, and then record collecting is the reality, and then like you know all the other stuff is kind of you know just trying to support other musicians as well.
Exactly. You know? Yeah, that's certainly where we're coming from in a big way. Is that we just want to say, look, we're doing this because we love every aspect of the music, and just want to share that with our friends and new friends. And